moms and dads, and welcome to this episode of Today's Parent. I'm your host, Christine Casina. The other exciting thing about this show is bringing you stories from real parents just like you and me, so we can learn from them, appreciate their stories, and be inspired by them. Today, we are going to talk about child loss, and we are joined by Mr. and Mrs. Njiru, who are going to share their story with us.
Yes.
Mr. Njiru and Mrs. Njiru, welcome to Today's Parent.
Thank you so much.
It's wonderful to have you guys, and thank you so much for just coming to share. Very brave of you.
Thank you.
I'm sitting here looking at the two of you, looking radiant. Nobody would ever think, the things that you guys have gone through, and you still smile. Before we get into the heavy part, I'll ask you a question, Mr. Njiru.
Okay.
What did you like in her?
I think I loved her smile the first time I met her. And that smile stayed with me in my mind, and I prayed that the Lord will allow her to accept me.
Right.
Thank God she accepted me.
Amen.
Yeah.
Amen to that.
Yeah, and we gotten married, and we are happily married.
That's wonderful.
Thank God, yeah.
How many years married now?
10 years.
1 up to 10.
Yes.
So you passed. So people say normally the 7th year is the worst. I don't know if that is true, but if you get to the 10th year, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
Congratulations to you guys.
Thank
Congratulations.
you.
Thank you so much.
Our topic for today is child loss, and it's something that you guys have gone through.
Yeah.
And why your story touched me so much is because it's not just one child that you have lost.
Yeah.
I was talking to Damaris a bit earlier. She mentioned, is it 3 children?
Yes.
If you could just share, your story briefly.
Our first pregnancy we lost at 3 months. That one was actually not as hard as the second one, because the second one we lost when the baby was 7 months.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
That one
7
was
months
a bit,
live.
Yes.
I'm so sorry.
That was a bit heavy for us, because this is a baby we were expecting to hold.
Yeah.
And then one day my pressure went high and couldn't be controlled. I had to go for a bed rest for quite some time. But then in the midst of all that, we lost that baby. And it was really hard for us because we couldn't believe, because we thought that phase was over and we were expectant of this baby, because we knew 7 months, this baby must come.
I mean, you only have 2 months to go. What
exactly.
could happen?
Yeah.
What could happen?
So one day we go for the clinic for the checkup, and the news were brought to us that the baby was no longer there.
I'm very sorry.
So we had to remove the baby, and it was really hard for us.
That must have been so hard.
Yeah, it was hard for us, for both of us.
I can imagine, Damaris, you dealing with it as a woman, even just as a human being, is hard.
Yeah.
Having lost your first one at 3 months and now at 7 months. How was it for you, just as a woman?
It was really hard. There was at times I would cry alone. I would be in the house alone. Maybe he's somewhere in a meeting or something, and I would find myself crying because this is a baby you've carried for long. There is a connection between you and this baby.
Yeah.
And so it was really hard. I would find myself crying for quite some time, because I had to stay for like a year for my body to recover before I get another pregnancy. So it was really hard for me. I would say I cried for quite some time.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah, and some people came to encourage me, and they kept telling me, after some time you'll get another baby, but that was not making sense then.
No.
So it was really hard for me. It was really hard. I would say it was really hard. Yeah.
How about you, Mr. Njiri?
I think the most difficult part is because we had waited for this baby for 3 years, because as she has said, the first baby that we lost, it was after 2 years after we gotten married. And with our culture, when you get married, after 1 year, everybody is on your neck. Oh, where is the baby? What's going on? And you can have a lot of pressure from maybe relatives,
sources,
and friends and all that,
well.
even from yourself.
Yeah.
So after 2 years, my wife conceived and we lost the first pregnancy. We were not very, I would say we didn't have a lot of information then. But then the second baby, we had a lot of information. We had researched and prepared. We had, actually the first time that we learned that she was pregnant, we visited Againa, and we were visiting Againa every month.
Faithfully.
Faithfully, every month.
Yeah.
We were not just doing usual clinics. And so we had spent a lot of money with that, and we were struggling. We had just gotten married, and our jobs, we had small jobs here and there. And after 7 months, she develops a challenge. We go to the hospital, and then the doctor says the baby is not there. And then the most difficult part was dealing with the hospital. And, you know, they're saying, go pay for some money for this baby to be disposed. And, you know, that was difficult.
Is that the term they used?
That's what they said. That's what they said.
So sorry.
In fact, I said, I mean, these people know they need to look for nice words to explain.
Yeah.
I mean, I was
Very
to become
inhumane.
a father.
That
and
meant something to you. It meant something to her.
to her. And, you know, what was difficult was to watch her cry and, you know, looking at this lifeless baby in a table somewhere. It was very difficult for me. And I was trying to be very strong for her. I remember when we were leaving the hospital, we went back to the room where she was staying, and we were picking our luggages and all that. And I told her, I think it is okay for us to pray. Can we hold our hands and pray? And in her face, she didn't say anything, but I would read her facial expression. She was like, pray for what? But we prayed, and it was very difficult for us. But thank God he was able to heal us. And I would tell you that it is not easy.
You know, just speaking about healing, for you as an African man, for her, for Damaris, she can cry and cry. We will understand. She will call. She will WhatsApp.
Yeah.
But then for a man, what outlets do you have to release that pain? What was your to go to, you know, pillar?
When I was with her, I was hiding my tears. But as soon as one of my brother learned that we have lost our baby and we were in the hospital, he came very fast. And when he came and we met, I couldn't hold it anymore. I broke and I started crying, and my brother was there for me. My younger brother, Willie, was there for me. And we prayed, and he said it's gonna be okay.
Amen to that.
But then when I went back to the hospital to see her, you know, I'm this African man. I'm not crying. I'm
you
very
have to
strong.
be the total man.
Yeah, I'm very strong for my wife. But just coming from the hospital's corridors, I was crying. You know.
So
but I mean, by God's grace, He has continued healing us.
So 7 months that happened.
7 months that happened.
You moved to the next chapter. How was that?
For the next, now our firstborn currently, she's 4, she's
What's her
turning
name?
5. We called her Grace.
Wow.
The reason we called her Grace is because even that pregnancy was a struggle for us.
Yeah.
We started our clinics or the second week, immediately after we knew we were pregnant.
You are very rare. Most of us find out later.
I think because of the issues I had, I think
Well,
I was a bit careful.
Nice.
And so at 12 weeks, I developed pressure again. And it was really tough. It was actually, that pregnancy was very tough for me, because I would get pressure, it's going high to want something. I had to be, at some point I had to be admitted. We were going for our friend's dowry. So we were passing through the clinic, so that I was going to see my gyna, and then we go now for the dowry.
To get a go ahead.
Yes. So we go, and I'm telling my husband, I will be there within an hour, we should be done, and then we will go to Muranga for the dowry.
When you land there?
When I land there, my doctor is asking me, and you're not feeling well.
How
and
did
you're not,
you come here?
How are you going?
You don't have a
did you come
headache.
here?
No.
Something, you're not feeling anything. I'm like, I woke up in the morning, prepared breakfast for us, did some chores in the house. I'm fine. What are you saying? I'm not going home. I have to go home. I'm going for a dowry. He's like, no, you can't go for a dowry. You have to be admitted immediately. Wow. And I'm thinking, are you serious? I don't even have anything. I've not carried anything. I can't be admitted. And he's like, no, you have to be admitted immediately. And he calls a hospital where I'm admitted. I had to be there for 3 days. Someone was going for dowry. And I'm thinking, this doc is crazy. He can't be serious. And after that, he gave me a bed rest. So I had to go home, but I had to be on bed rest.
For how long? The rest of the pregnancy?
Yes. I gave birth at 34 weeks. The baby was 1.7 kgs. And
That
she
is a
had
small baby.
and she had so many issues. The first thing she took was antibiotics.
Like her
instead
first
of-
meal on this planet.
Yes.
Yes, she was born and she's
Poor
very
Grace.
sick.
I'm so
Yeah, she was
sorry.
born and she's very sick.
Yeah.
They say that she had an infection in her tummy.
Yes.
Because they say that she got, the water.
Yeah.
The water didn't come up. So the baby was taking in the water.
Grace is a rare baby.
Yeah, I'm telling you. In fact, it's funny, the pediatrician who was taking care of her, I asked her, so how is my baby? Because I waited for more than 9 hours
Before you saw her.
before I saw her. And I was pacing in the corridors and I'm asking them, they're not saying anything to me. So at around in the afternoon, I asked her, so I have not seen my baby, what is going on? And my wife, I had not seen her because she's just come from theater and I'm out there waiting. And she said, your baby is not okay because your baby has an infection.
Yeah.
And so we have put her in the incubator because she was a preterm.
Yeah.
And we are treating now the infection. So in fact, the next thing they did was to give me a big list of the medications that I need to go buy and bring back to the hospital.
You're a strong man.
And the funny thing is, when I came back, they allowed me to go and see the baby in the incubator. And when I talked, the small, tiny girl smiled. And I was so happy. And I didn't care that they are saying she's sick. All I knew that is I'm a father, and one day I'm going to go home with this girl.
Wonderful.
I was so excited.
Wonderful.
I was
So
so
that is
excited.
Grace.
Yes.
Eventually, Grace went home with you guys.
Yes.
She must be loved and beloved beyond.
Oh my God.
She's a
She
friend
is,
to everybody
That's
in
wonderful.
church.
Yeah.
How old is she now?
She's turning 5 in May.
Turning
5.
Yeah,
Do you have
turning
any other children?
Yes, we have another one, a boy, who is turning 1 next week,
Next
Wow.
week on Tuesday?
Wednesday.
Wednesday.
Yeah.
Turning
much
one,
baby?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And before that, we had lost one.
Oh, in between Grace and what's his
And-
name?
Yes,
John
John
Mark.
Mark.
John Mark.
Yeah.
Swag.
I call him an apostle.
Wow. That's a beautiful name. That's a beautiful name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So between the two, we lost one, but by then that pregnancy was 3 weeks. No, was 6 weeks.
It's still a baby, you know?
Yes.
Still a baby.
Yes.
Supposed to be a father of 5 now.
You have a lot of children.
I have a lot of, and God is enjoying
You're
them
a
in
blessed
heaven.
guy.
God is enjoying them in heaven.
So you would have had how many boys and how many girls?
The 7 months one was a girl.
Was a girl, beautiful girl,
Must have
fully
been,
grown.
I mean, with a mother like
With
like
I mean,
Naman.
and my hair. It just I've shaved, but you need to see
Yeah,
my
beautiful
hair.
hair.
Yeah, she was a big girl, beautiful girl. You know, I looked at her and I couldn't believe that she was lifeless. Beautiful girl.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah, beautiful girl.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
So let's take a short break and then we continue. Of course, with a message of hope to parents who are watching, possibly going through child loss.
Yeah.
You know, a message to them so you can encourage them.
Yeah.
In our episode today, we are privileged to host Mr. and Mrs. Njiru who are sharing their child loss story. We are going to take a short break and we'll be back right after this. Welcome back to this episode of Today's Parent. I hope in the first part you've been encouraged so far, especially if you're a couple going through child loss. We are joined again by Mr. and Mrs. Njiru. Thank you for sharing so far. You know, for somebody who's watching, looking at the two of you with the smiles on your face, how did you overcome all these losses? Because, I mean, to lose one child is not something easy to deal with. Imagine dealing with 3 losses.
Yeah.
That is tough.
Yeah.
And you know, statistics back it up that a lot of couples end up separating or divorcing.
Yeah.
What kept you guys together? What kept you guys together?
I think the fact that we are friends. Before being lovers, we are friends.
Okay.
We've been great friends. Even when maybe we are quarreling or something, we are still friends. So that one always brings back.
That is
bring
your
us
foundation.
back together.
That's
Yes.
your friends.
Yes.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Also, we have parents, spiritual parents, and also physical parents. My spiritual parents will always be there for you. They will always pray with you, encourage you.
Yeah.
And actually, I remember once we lost, I think, the second born. Our bishop was not in Kenya, but immediately he came. Before going to his house, he came to my house. And he came and prayed with us. That was great love.
So this is not a journey you should walk alone.
You can't. You can't do this alone, because we all need a support system.
Yeah.
We all need a support system. And as she's saying, the first support system for a couple is both of you. And when you know that you are there for each other, that is a blessing. I encourage young people who are getting married that before you get married, it is important to marry someone who is your friend. You know, because before someone becomes a wife, they should be a friend. And I believe that when I was marrying her, she was not a wife, she was just a girl.
Yeah.
I am the one who made her to be a wife. And she made me to be a husband, because I've never been a husband. I first became a husband because of her.
Yeah.
And so coming together, we came together as friends, and we were in this forever. I mean, we were not trying. Yeah,
This
we were not trying.
It was not a joke.
No. We were not trying. We were in for staying, whether with children. I remember one time I told my wife, I didn't marry you to give me babies.
Yeah.
And I told her, I can also not give you babies. I am a human being. Yeah. God is the one. The Bible says, the book of Psalms 127, that children are gifts from God. So he is the one who decides who to give a gift and who not to give a gift.
Yeah.
If I am to receive a gift from you,
Yeah.
you will give it to me because you want to give it to me. And you are the one to choose who to give and who not to give. And that part, I made it clear for her that I didn't get married to you to give me babies. And so that helped her not to live in pain, thinking that she's not a good wife or she's not a woman enough because we don't have children. I believe that family is complete with
even
children or without
without
children. Yes. So we accepted. The first thing we did is to accept that for 5 years we didn't have babies. We have gotten two and lost.
As per societal
standards. Yes. Actually, two of my brothers, they married later.
And God, don't tell me they got babies.
They got babies.
Before
and
us.
As you realize, I work with babies. I work in a children's home. And my work involved me rescuing children.
Other people's children.
Other people's small children, newborn. 1 day, 2 days, someone has given
Thrown
birth,
away.
thrown away. I would go rescue them. And I'm asking God, so God, you decided that my work here in this world is to rescue babies that have been thrown away. And I do not have one of my own. Sometimes before we got a hospital, because now we have a hospital, I would be called at night. Oh, we have this child. They are very sick. Please come. And I would go take them to the hospital at night. And I'm queuing in Kiambu General Hospital. And I'm asking God, so God, I need you to make it easy for me and make me understand you have cut me for this.
How are you not bitter, by the way? Even you, Damaris, how are you not bitter?
I think the fact that we were praying, I would say the fact that we were praying together.
That's wonderful.
And the fact that he stood with me, I think that kept me going.
When he told you that regardless of whether or not we have children, I love you the way you are, we are family, this is what it is. Did it speak to you, or you thought?
Yes, I think it did. Because immediately after that, I think like after 3 or so months, now I got pregnant.
Because now you are calm, you are settled.
I'm relaxed, I'm okay, I'm good
it's
to
no
go.
longer a project.
No.
It's funny, at some point she was not conceiving. And we were not using any family
I think because
planning.
of the pressure.
But because of the pressure, we realized we can't conceive like this.
Walking around with thermometers.
Can you imagine? It's like we just live for looking for babies.
The ultimate goal in our lives right now.
No, we can't live like this. No, we have to enjoy ourselves. As she's saying, our spiritual parents, Bishop Peter and Reverend Faith, have been very supportive. And one of the things that Reverend Faith told us is that we should enjoy this season that we don't have babies because they are coming.
And when they came,
And when they came,
your time is not your own.
spent
Never.
sleepless nights,
Mom!
coming from
Dad,
work and all
yes.
that. And let me tell you, when she said that to us, we started enjoying our time together.
Let me ask you something, Mr. Njiri.
Yeah.
Did you guys ever consider seeking professional help? Like seeing a psychologist, apart from your spiritual parents, did you ever think about seeking professional help?
Yes,
yeah,
we
at some
did.
point
At
we
some
did.
point
Did you do that?
Because it was quite traumatizing at some point.
Yeah, we did
But
that.
Okay.
I think the fact that I was not ready to share my story by then. So I was feeling like I will share to this stranger, this person I don't know, and then how will they
take
see
it.
me? How
Yeah.
will they look at
And
me?
possibly they have not even gone through childhood. So what are you telling me? It
Yes.
is hard. I get where you're coming from.
So I felt like, no, okay, I want to do this, but I'm not sure I want to do it right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think
My
that's
wife is very, I don't want to use the word sensitive. And she's very private.
They're called HSP.
Yeah.
Highly sensitive people.
Yeah,
I'm one of them.
and very private, and I respected that. Now, the unusual thing is that I'm a pastor. And pastors talk about themselves and talk about their families, talk about their siblings.
You're part of the preaching.
Yes.
So you're part of the lesson.
we are
for
in the
that week.
service.
Oh my
We are in the
God.
service.
preaching and I'm hearing a story and I'm
And you're like,
thinking,
is that
are you
us?
like serious? Why are you
We
sharing
would
that?
go home and she would be like, did you have to say that?
But the Spirit moved you.
And I'm
you
like,
possibly touched
oh,
somebody.
I didn't even know that I said that, but I believe somebody has been touched by our testimony. I think for me, talking about it when I'm preaching and teaching helped me to get healing very fast. And when I got that healing, it was easy for me now to encourage her.
Okay.
And about professional help, thank God our spiritual parents, Reverend Faith, she's a trained counselor.
Okay.
And she was able to take us through the process of healing. And for her, she trusted her. She would talk to her freely, and for that, it was a great, great blessing.
That's good.
But for me, I would talk to anyone. I would be seated with you in a matatu, and this pressure is too much, and I
You'll
would
have a conversation.
we must talk about it and talk about it is the Lord who gives life and it is the Lord who takes life.
There you go.
And I would get healed.
So now that you have Grace and John Mark, the perception you had of parenting and having become parents, how is the reality compared to what you were thinking it would be like?
Wow. That has been a tough one.
Is it?
Yes, it is. Especially now that I have a second born. My firstborn is very jealous.
Yeah.
She does not want to see me holding the second born at all.
The age difference is what, 3 years?
Yes, and she's
Yeah.
still very jealous. She'll
Yeah.
come and maybe I'm playing with the younger one, and she's like, "Na mimi,
What?
What about me?
what? Try and play with both of them."
Yeah.
She'll be like, "Put her there,
Pushing the other
please." Kaa hapo kidogo.
In your space, you found me here by the way.
Yes,
Yeah.
this is my territory. I'm marking my territory. And it's been tough. I would say it's
Okay.
been tough for me.
But I'm sure very fulfilling.
Yes,
Yeah,
very,
very
fulfilling.
fulfilling.
Very
Because
fulfilling.
like now the older one, I'll be doing something for the younger one, and she's there helping.
Aw.
Yeah. So,
Actually, we got professional help about parenting from
That's
our
good.
pediatrician.
That's
she
good.
really helped
That's
us
good.
because she said this big girl, she's very sensitive because you've been with her for a long time. But this young one doesn't know what is going on.
Yeah.
So you're putting a lot of time to this one who does not understand what is going
While
on.
this one was being
While you are
here.
neglecting this other one. So you need to know how to give attention to this other one. And she said the best way to do it, like when you're changing diapers and all that, involve this girl.
Yeah.
Let her, send her, do it with her, so that she can start loving and appreciate this
Yeah.
young one who has just come and
Okay.
she's thinking she's taking my space. So, and that was very helpful.
That's good.
That she started
That's good.
appreciating this young boy and making her realize this
Yeah.
is your brother.
And I'm sure they're better friends now.
Now
Yeah.
they're
Yeah.
better friends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Before we run out of time, for a couple who's watching, just waiting for the part you'll share, which has been a very hopeful story. I'm happy
Yeah.
with the happy ending.
Thank you.
Just your pointers of encouragement. What can you tell parents who are watching who've gone through child loss or child losses?
I think for me is to encourage them to continue hoping in God and not to give up on God and give up on themselves, because the Lord is faithful. I mean, the Lord brought them together with a good purpose. He is able to do it again and again.
Yeah.
And one of these days, the Lord will allow them to hold their own baby.
Amen to
If
that.
we have two of them, the Lord can do it. He did it for us. He
Yeah.
can do it for them.
Amen to
Wherever they are, they need to continue trusting in God and waiting on God.
Okay.
And I mean, because sometimes we also have a problem as men. We think, oh, it is, the, especially for those maybe who has never conceived, or when they lose the baby, they think it is the woman who has a problem.
Yes.
I think for men, I think it is important to be there for your wife and make sure that she knows that you are supporting her and you love her.
Thank you.
Even in that situation, you still love her. That is very important to the women or to that wife.
Thank you, Mr. Njiri.
Yeah, thank you.
I hope if you're watching and you are going through child loss or you've gone through it, you are encouraged by the story of Mr. and Mrs. Njiri. If you need any help, you want us to connect you to a counselor, you want us to connect you to the awesome couple, just send us an SMS on 22999 and we'll be happy to do that. As they have said, don't give up and don't suffer alone. I have been your host, Christine Casina, and this has been today's Parent. If you're looking for kids furniture, of course, come over to Little Cribs, the home of fun, exciting, durable, and affordable kids furniture. For parenting resources, always head over to www.supermamas.co.ke. As I always say, no matter what you're going through, it's a good day to have a good day. Make a decision to have a good day.